Hello, BookTube. I'm here today with an astounding video. Well, it's about Astounding magazine, or at least the pulp issues that I have of Astounding. Now, when I did my Golden Age science fiction video, I showed a number of Astounding magazines from the 30s, mostly 30s, but a couple from 1940. And I was asked to show more detail, so I thought I'd do that. And here's sort of the stack. This is pretty well, I think, most of what I've got. So we'll go through each of them in a little more detail. But I first just wanted to give an overview of Astounding. Now, it was started by William Clayton, his Clayton Magazine's empire, in 1930, and it was originally called Astounding Stories of Super Science. Its first editor was Harry Bates, and the first issue came out in January 1930. Now, in February 1931, the name was changed to Astounding Stories. However, that's still not the end of the name change, as we will see. Because of the Depression in 1932, William Clayton was having financial problems, and he eventually went bankrupt in 1933. But his last three issues that he put out, because they had enough material to do that with, he reverted back to the old name, Astounding Stories of Super Science. Now, at this time, when he went bankrupt, Street and Smith, there were several sort of magazine empires, they bought up Astounding, and they placed F. Orland Tremaine as editor. And in 1936, they went from rough edge pulps to trimmed edges, and we'll see that in the magazines here and the difference between them. But in 1937, October 1937, there was another changeover of editor. John W. Campbell was hired in October 1937, and the first issue that he had any sort of, his hands-on with was December 1937. But it wasn't until March 1938 that he had, full control over the editorial content of that issue. And F. Orland Tremaine remained on as sort of tutoring John W. Campbell in the job. He was going to move up in the Street and Smith empire, but he was fired, and he left at the end of April, beginning of May. That left John W. Campbell with a freer hand. But also during this time, this changeover, another employee was hired, Catherine Tarrant, and she wound up being quite instrumental to the company. She not only played gatekeeper for John W. Campbell with authors, but she was actually she was doing a lot of the editorial work as well. But it wasn't until late 40s or early 50s that she actually was put on the masthead, saying that she was assistant editor. But let's get back to 1939. Now, F. Orland Tremaine has left, basically May. This gave John W. Campbell a freer hand. So immediately he changed the name. He didn't like the word astounding. He didn't like Astounding Stories, so he changed it to Astounding Science Fiction. He really wanted to call it just Science Fiction, but there was another magazine that cropped up called Science Fiction, so he was satisfied just with Astounding Science Fiction at the moment. Now, he ushered in, as we know, the golden age science fiction with a lot of authors. In 1943, they went from the sort of pulp size down to more digest size, and in 1960, he actually changed the name again but he took a whole year to do this, sort of fading in and fading out, and it's called Analog, Science Fact, and Fiction. Now, he died in harness in 1971, And it wasn't until 1972 that they got another editor, and during that time, Catherine Tarrant sort of ran all the editorial features of the magazine, and she was training her replacement as well because she was leaving. But it was Ben Bovell who took over in 1972. He was only supposed to be there for a few years, but he stayed until 1978, until Stanley Schmidt took over until he took over until 2012. And then 2012, Trevor Quackery took over, and he's still editor of Analog. So there's sort of, a potted history of Astounding. So let's look at some magazines. As I say, it started in January 1930. I don't have any of those very early issues, but I do have issue that was pre Street and Smith, and this is May 1932. And it's a little rough, but the spine is there, and it remained 20 cents for a long time. I think right up into the 40s, or maybe until after the Second World War. And let's look a little closer at these. I have quite a few, so it'll take a little while. So this is May 1932, and it's Harry Bates is still the editor. Clayton publisher, W.M. Clayton is the publisher. Now I'm trying to look to see here if there's any information with regards to... no, I don't see anything for the artist. But who we have in here is cover design by H.W. Wesso, Pirates of the Gorm, Nat Schanacker, The Martian Cabal, R.F. Starzl, The Great Drought, Captain S.P. Meek, Wandrel the Invader, Ray Cummings, The Bluffing of the Hawk, Anthony Gilmore, the Reader's Corner, and so forth. But the Bluffing of the Hawk is Hawk Carson, Harry Bates, and another author were writing a series of very popular space opera at the time. Now, it's got the usual ads that are throughout, and artwork. Again, I don't see the name, but there's some interior artwork. And let's try to find some more. The Martian Cabal, a complete novelette by R.F. Starzl. And this is the thing that I like about these magazines, is that you get these interior artwork, and you get the some of the stories that have been reprinted, but not all. That's the thing. Not all these stories have been reprinted, and they will 99% of the time not have the artwork. There's not too much artwork in this one because this was when Clayton was fading in the publishing world with financial difficulties. Now here's Wandel the Invader by Ray Cummings. It was a serial, and there's the conclusion. And as I mentioned, it had rough page edges, and you see the covers of most of the pulps were hanging over, and the normal size of the pulp was like 7 inches by 10 inches, give or take. And it took it took a while before pulps disappeared and the size became digest. It was basically post-war ended most pulp magazines. And there are larger ones that are called large pulps or bed sheets, but bed sheet is a bit of a misnomer for pulps, but even so, that's what they were called. Now we go to February 1934. Now we're back with Astounding Stories as the title. The other one was Astounding Stories, but as I say, in 1933 there were 3 issues that were put out with Astounding Stories of Super Science. Now, this will be an F. Orland Tremaine edited. Let me see, it doesn't actually say, but it would be F. Orland Tremaine because it's Street and Smith publication. And cover painting is by Howard V. Brown. And it's I'm not sure whether it's illustrating Lost City of Mars by Harl Vincent or Rebirth by Thomas M. McClary. Probably Rebirth, I would think. But let me see. There's Rebirth. It's the feature novel by Thomas Calvert and McClary. Novelettes: Lost City of Mars, Harl Vincent. The Living Flame by Arthur Leo Zagat. Short stories: Shortwave Castle by Calvin Pergro. Raymond Z. Gallen for Space Flotsam. Scandal in the Fourth Dimension are A.R. Long. Blind Reasoning by Roy Auckland. And they have the readers' content, letters, and editorial. And there's the contents page. And the ubiquitous sort of ad that you see in a lot of pulps is sort of fitness. Fitness ones. And if you can be a radio expert and make $40, $60, $75 a week. There you go. In 1934, that wasn't too bad. And here you go. More ads. Let's see here. Stop your rupture worries. So yeah, you can get a thing to stop your rupture. Little comics, learn music, like all sorts of ads that are kind of cool. Kill kidney asses, don't take drastic drugs. A little information and selling, more ads. And the interesting thing is, we'll get to it in another one, is some of the letters. The letters columns are always interesting. This seems a little sparse on interior artwork. I'm having trouble finding interior artwork here. I don't know if Street and Smith was having a little bit of problem. It looks like it's at the beginning of the stories rather than more interior. So, but yeah, let's get going. And then on the back, you're ubiquitous as well. Cigarette smoking ads, but in color as well. Now we move up to 1938. So this is October 1938. This is when Campbell was in charge. So as you can see, the name change, Astounding Science Fiction, which he did earlier in the year. And again, tobacco ads on the inside cover. Let's see here. What do we have? Street and Smith publication. On sale, fourth Friday of each month. We got a Clifford Simak story in here. Called Hunger Death. Other tracks, William Sell. Sun World of Solidus, Nat Schanacker. Short stories, those were complete novelettes, the previous ones. Magician of Dream Valley short story, Raymond Z. Gallen. Orestes Revolts, Ian Do Binder. The Command, L. Sprague de Camp. The Carey's Affair, Kent Casey. A serial novel, this is second of 3 parts, by L. Ron Hubbard. Science features, Why Rockets Don't Fly, Peter Von Dressler. And readers departments. Cover is by H.W. Brown. Illustrations by Binder, Dodd, Orban, Thompson, Wirt, and Wesso. Sort of familiar names. Let's see if we can find some in here. And here's for William Sell. The story, quite intricate. Let's try to find the one for Clifford Simak story, Hunger Death. There we go. That's by Wesso. And on the back we have, looks like, yeah, again, a Camel's cigarette ad, but it's in the form of a comic book, a comic strip. This one has, sadly, somebody's put some black tape on the head of the spine. Now we got February 1939. Again, this is all now under John W. Campbell. And this begins the serialization of Clifford Simak's Cosmic Engineer in 3 parts. And Crucible of Power by Jack Williamson, Lorelei of Space, Frederick Arnold Coomer Jr., Living Fossil by Elspeth de Camp, Palooka from Jupiter, Nat Schnacker, Nothing Happens on the Moon, Paul Ernst, Shadow of Evil, Raymond Z. Gallen, Oil, Don Wire. And then Willie Lay is doing the science articles. He pops up all through the 40s and 50s. Editor's page and so forth. Let's see what's in the... Oh, yeah. See, this is a common advert, too, is for bad breath, Listerine. Is it Listerine? Yeah. Oh, and dandruff. Get rid of telltale dandruff for keeps with... Oh, Listerine. Okay. I thought Listerine was for bad breath. But anyway, there's lots of dandruff articles, advertisements in these magazines, as well as cigarette, as well as physical fitness, as you can see in the back. Now, let's look here at a few. The Shadow of the Veil by Raymond Z. Gallen. We've got dinosaurs. Very intricate artwork there. And a lot more artwork in these. Nothing Happens on the Moon by Paul Ernst. Yeah, nothing ever happens on the moon, does it? Advertising Doc Savage. Palooka from Jupiter by Nat Schnacker. Let's see what they have for Cosmic Engineers. Is there any art in here? There we go. It's almost like a cover for the stories. Be Kind, Smith Brothers Cough Drops. Ads at the bottom of a lot of the pages. Okay, now let's get through these because it's a lot to go through here. We've got March 1939, and you see it says right there, Street and Smith publication. This is part 2 of the Cosmic Engineers, but it also has a novelette by Don A. Stewart, who actually is John W. Campbell. Problem with, that's called Cloak of Azir. Problem in Murder, H.L. Gold, who then he was a writer, but he also then becomes competition in 1950 editing Galaxy science fiction. Star Crash, Star Crash. Kent Casey, Street of the Betsy B, Malcolm Jameson, Beyond the Sun, D.L. James, and, as I say, part 2 of the serial novel, Cosmic Engineers. Cover is by Graves Gladney. And on the back again, just back always seems to be cigarettes advertisements. And correspondence for reading, international correspondence schools, all sorts of things. And Marco Polo shown there. Here we go. Cloak of Azir by Don A. Stewart. The artwork, as I say, it seems to be really, really nice artwork at the beginning. And again, they're using, looks like the same artwork for Simak's Cosmic Engineers. Let's look at one in the story here. This is for Star Crash. Really nice artwork. A lot of movement. We got D.L. James, Beyond the Sun. And we end, Clifford Simak's Cosmic Engineers with, this is March 1930, no, this is March or June. April 1939. Listerine toothpaste. Listerine was a brand name. They had a lot of stuff. So on the interior cover. It's Listerine toothpaste. Extra long life I love these battery ads because look at the intricate artwork on these. It's a battery ad. So what do we got in here? Feature serials: One Against the Legion. This is the first of 3 parts by Jack Williamson. The conclusion of Cosmic Engineers. Novelettes: Worlds Don't Care, Nat Shanaker. Revolt by A.M. Phillips. Short stories: Catalyst Poison, Malcolm Jameson. Rope Trick, E&O Binder. The Cache by Harry Walton. And the usual. The cover is by Schneemann. It's sort of a famous, well, not famous, but it's the cover is around a lot. Sort of Street and Smith publications of Jesse James Rides Again. Revolt artwork. And yeah, there's E&O Binder. E&O Binder. Well, it's E and then the word and then O. It's I forget. It's slipped my mind, but it's 2 brothers. One has first name that starts with E, and the other has first name that starts with O. Their last name is Binder, so it's E and O. Binder. One Against the Legion by Jack Williamson artwork. And Catalyst Poison by Malcolm Jameson. Ooh, that's a very busy picture there. Yeah, and this one here has an interesting letters in. This one's a little rougher condition. This is May 1939. Oh, I should have said that these are all have the trimmed edges, so as you can see the difference between those. Part 2 of Jack Williamson's One Against the Legion. The cover is by Graves Gladney. And we got novelettes: Coil of Time, P. Schiller Miller. Special Flight by John Berryman. And short stories: The Day Is Done by Lester Del Rey. Employment by Layman R. Lyon. Melody and Moons by Ken Casey. And an article by L. Sprague de Camp, Designed for Life. And a dandruff article, a dandruff ad again in the inside cover, which was very, very popular. More tobacco ads. I got to be careful with this one. This one's a little on the rough side. A little bit of artwork stuck in the corner there. One Against the Legion by it's a sequel to The Cometeers by Jack Williamson. And again, on the back. Oh yes, the letter. There's an interesting letter because people would write in to give their opinions, and they're very, very clear on a lot of times what their opinions are for stories. And this is a longer a letter, but it's very, very tiny print. It's extremely hard to read. But he's talking about Simak's serial, Cosmic Engineers, which is cool. And also he's talking about The Cloak of Azir by Don A. Stewart, and he says, compliments are certainly due you for the fine March issue of Astounding, especially in praise due to the magnificent Cloak of Azir. Stewart is one of the few literary authors of science fiction today. Science-fiction, as he says it here. That's Michael Rogers in Illinois, or Muskogee. No, wait a minute. Oh, Michael Rogers the second in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I guess OKLS? Is that Oklahoma? Oh, I'm not sure. No, it's not. But yeah, and I don't know if he knew that Don A. Stewart was John W. Campbell. So that's kind of interesting. So we got June 1930. These are in better condition. And we've got yeah, more Listerine ads on the cover. It's always stuff like that. Let's see what we got here. We got Hermit of Mars by Clifford Simak. The Morons by Harl Vincent. Done in Oil, Arthur J. Burks. When the Future Dies, Nat Schanacker. Pressure, Ross Rocklin. Articles, 2 articles by L. Sprague de Camp and Philip M. Morse. Serial, One Against the Legion. This is the conclusion by Jack Williamson. And somebody clearly was marking off the stories that they read as they read them. They could go through and see they did, rather than trying to remember them. And here's the battery ad again. And look at the intricate artwork they did for that with their house. I'm assuming it would be house artists. Job, train for a job in radio repair. Let's see here. Jesse James advertised again, one of their other periodicals. Let's see here. They're advertising their sister magazine, Unknown, which did more fantasy. Didn't last that long. We've got the Morons with a somewhat dinosaur-looking monster and ray guns. Let's see the cover one here. Oh, the cover photo for the story. That's what I'm going to call them. When the Future Dies by Nat Schanacker. And let's see, Hermit of Mars. The Madden Eaters were driven on over the edge. The Madden Eaters were driven on over the edge by the mass of the charging herd behind. And another sort of Western style, making a film by the looks of it. Cartoon for Camel cigarettes. Now we get to the piece de resistance of 1939. Ooh, have to be careful of that. We've got the 1939 July issue, which is considered the beginning of the golden age of science fiction, with the cover story of A.E. Van Vogt's The Black Destroyer. And the cover art for that is Graves Gladney. That's a fabulous cover. I like the silhouette of the monster. Lightship Ho interior artwork, but let's see what else is in here. It's a pretty good lineup. A.E. Van Vogt, The Black Destroyer, City of the Cosmic Rays, Nat Schanacker, C.L. Moore, Greater Than Gods, Trends by Isaac Asimov's first appearance in, I think, Astounding, Lightship Ho, Nielsen S. Bond, The Moth, Ross Rocklin, When the Half Gods Go, Amelia R. Long, articles, and the requisites. Listerine ad for dandruff in the inside cover. Excuse me. Trends. Let's look at a few pictures for that. And there's the cover one, Trends. And Black Destroyer. Let's see what the cover is. There we go. It's getting kind of long, the video. We've got September 1939. I got quite a few 39. I got half. Got six issues for 1939. I'll never complete them because I forget which it is. One of them has the first Heinlein story, and that's just prohibitively expensive. So September 1939, Manly Wade Wellman with Forces Must Balance. The Last Hope by Dan Evans. Atmospherics by Victor Volding. Mission Secret by Raymond Z. Gallen. Ether Breather, Theodore Sturgeon. Articles, a serial, General Swap, Frederick Eingart. And the cover is by Rogers. And here you go. No skinny man has an ounce of sex appeal. So there you go. You need to muscle up there, boys. Hair growth. There you go. Hair growth ads. General Swamp. Artwork. Yeah, their letters column is microscopic lettering in it. The Last Hope by Don Evans. And now we jump to 1940 with serial of A.E. Van Vogt's Slan. I'm missing one, and I can't find it. I can't even find it listed, so I don't know how much it is. This is, September 1940. It's the first part of Slan, 4 parts. Robert Heinlein, Blow Ups Happen, novelette. Short stories, Ross Rockline, Quietus. The Kilkenny Cats by Kurt von Racken. Homo Sol by Isaac Asimov. Emergency Vic Phillips. Articles, Universals for Lenses. And the cover is by Rogers again. Let's see what the first artwork is for Slan. Well, there's interior for Slan by A. Van Vogt. Slan is interesting because it appeared as the serial here in 1940 in 4 parts. Then it was published by Arkham House with changes. Then there was an edited version for Fantastic Adventures magazine. There was another, he changed it again. Like there's like 4 or 5 different versions of Slan. So we've got November. See, I'm missing October. I don't know what the issue is with October. It's with the character standing in it with a background similar to sort of like this. And I don't know why I can't find it. So this is November 1940. Because, you know, I was gifted these, and I thought, well, I'd love to complete Slan, but I can't. Or at least not yet. So we've got Salvage, novelette by Vic Phillips. The Exalted Al Sprague de Camp. Short story, Sunspot Purge by Clifford Simak. One Was Stubborn by Rene Lafayette. And the serial Slan, part 3 of 4. The cover is by Rogers again. And guess, surprise, surprise, what's on the back. Cigarette ads. Boulevard Watches, this time on the inside cover. What's on the inside back cover? How Lee Union made garments help you to a bigger job with more pay. So yeah, so buy the right uniform for your job from them. Let's see here. One Was Stubborn by Rene Lafayette. Artwork. Sunspot Purge by Clifford Simak. And I like that little one there as well. That is for Salvage. Got 2 more to do, and it's an overlong video. This is December 1940. This is the 4th part of Slan. Again, nice color ads on the back for cigarettes. A typewriter ad on the inside cover this time. Love to have one of those. International correspondence courses. Does your pay envelope keep you out of this picture? Like having a wife? More battery ad art. I just love these. Let's see who's in this one. P. Sheila Miller with a novelette, Old Man Mulligan. Spheres by D.M. Edwards. Fog by Robert Willey. Short story Legacy by Nelson S. Bond. Sprague de Camp article, Justinian Jugs Patient. Slan serial, The Conclusion. Cover again by Rogers. Here's interior artwork for Slan. And I saw a nice advertisement for another magazine and another, if I can find it here. This, it's for the Shadow radio, the radio serial. Let's see here. What's this one here? Fog. Sort of more darker artwork. Let's look at one more. That's a good one. Spheres by D.M. Edwards. Now we look at the last one, which is September 1941. And as you can see, this has Nightfall on it by Isaac Asimov. And then we got Wrigley Spearmint Gum on it. A little changed for the back cover here, or for the ones I have. Wrigley Spearmint Gum. Inside cover though, what do we have? We have Cut Him Loose and Let Him Go. Let Listerine look after your breath. So if you got bad breath, no woman will want you. So you must get Listerine or you're going to be cut loose. So we got Nightfall, the first heading of novelettes. Elsewhere, Caleb Saunders. Short stories, Alfred Bester, Adam and Noeve. Short Circuit Probability by Norman L. Knight. Mission by M. Crowfield. Test of the Gods by Raymond F. Jones. Methuselah's Children. Conclusion of Robert A. Heinlein's serial. And the cover is by Rogers again. And inside back cover, let's see what we got. We've got, look at what America's leading fuel oil heater offers you for 1942. There you go. A furnace? Yeah, it must be a furnace. Let me see. A little more Methuselah Children. A little more traditional sort of artwork there. Or at least I think of it as traditional. Elsewhere. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Let's look at another one. Adam and Noeve by Alfred Bester. I love those rocket ships, either the pointy ones or that shape. Nightfall, let's see what the artwork is for that. There's an interior story one. And let's look at the cover one. There we go. So there it is, folks. There's my astounding science fiction, astounding collection. Various conditions. Some pretty good and some a little rough. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this, it's long. I do apologize. Maybe I should split it up. But if you're interested in other videos of the sort, then please let me know. And do you have any of these stories? And do you like these old pulps and the old science fiction that's in those? Thank you very much, BookTube.